that's all you could probably really do at this point, unless you just really want to read through the whole thing. So that's kind of the biggest tip I have. As you can see, there's three different sections of the Blue Book. You guys have probably used the blue pages mostly for your appellate brief and your trial brief. The Blue Book exam is going to be solely in the white pages. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Okay. So this is just more additional tips. Even after editing this whole year, the index is still one of the greatest assets in the book for the associate editors. We're constantly referring back there because it is hard to find some specific rules sometimes. So definitely look at that. The back cover, I think I used it last year when I was starting off. I haven't really used it since then, but it might be a helpful way to start off too. And then definitely the table of contents, like in any manual, is really helpful. Yeah, other than that, just kind of get familiar with it, kind of look at the structure. There's really not that much more to it at this point. The one thing, or one of the things I want to kind of emphasize is the use of tables. When you're writing your briefs, you most of the time probably cited to cases in the federal courts. In law reviews, you'll be citing to other law review articles. You'll be citing to specific cases from different states. And Table 1 is a really helpful source for that. I don't know if you guys have encountered that yet. But keep it in mind during this Blue Book exam. It's separated by states, so you can look up different jurisdictions and see the ways they cite cases, statutes, and so on. Okay. Oh, there it is. Sorry, missed the slide. So this is it. Yeah, Table 1 covers the jurisdictions, and then all the other tables, just kind of be familiar with what they cover in general. Table 7, Table 13, Table 16. So the biggest one probably out of these that we use on a law review most often is the periodicals, Table 13. You got to want to make sure that when you see citations to different law review articles that you will go in there and check that it's abbreviated correctly. That's probably the one I've used the most. But just in general, keep in mind that there's tables in the back too. Don't forget about those. And then finally, there's some sources online. You guys have probably all have done the Lexis exercises. If you want to go there and prep yourself, there's a few websites, or a couple websites that you can look at. Okay. So the next slide, I'm going to put it up and I'm going to leave it up there for now while we go over other things. This is an example of something you might encounter on the Blue Book exam. And there's 3 errors in this stream of citations. And you guys can keep looking at it if you find something. I'll get back to it in a little bit and see if you guys can see the 3 errors. All right.
Yeah, there's the
Yes,
first one's on the 3rd line, right?
Which one?
The colon instead of the
Yeah.
semicolon.
Yep, so that's 1.
No space before Indiana.
Yep. There's one more. It's kind of toward the bottom. This one might be tough. This is just kind of an example of why you want to be familiar with the tables. I'll just kind of show it. It's right there. So the abbreviation for the state is incorrect. So it's, as you see, there's you'll find easy errors on the Blue Book exam, like a colon or a space. There'll be some things that you'll have to go into the Blue Book. Otherwise, you won't really know what's wrong with it. But they don't always look this long and big. So, okay. So we're done with that. I'm going to switch over to Word now to go over the track changes.
I can show you.
Okay.
Do you want to go over that first?
Yeah, let's do it. Is it going to bring it over there?
Yeah.
Is the web completely available on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, I said no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do what she says. No.
Only because I think it gives them
Okay.
tips that.
Perfect.
While we're pulling out, do
We'll
you guys
talk.
have any questions so far? Yeah.
So I think in the last meeting, you guys said we could use either the Red Book or Chicago Manual, right? Okay. For about
Yeah, either one of those, just specify which one you're using and the edition. What's the, is it the 16th?
16th for Chicago?
16th.
Yeah.
Oh, and you put it on the instructions, but the Chicago Manual of Style, it's free to students, but you can only use it for free online if you're on the campus Wi-Fi. So if you go home and you're not on campus Wi-Fi at home, then you won't be able to get it. In online version. You can certainly check out the books, but.
It's a lot easier online too because you can search for different things rather than.
There's a search function on the online version.
Do you do it to like bestseller or Lexus searches?
Just Google Chicago
Just-
Manual of Style, and then you'll be able to get to it.
If you pull up the instructions, the link is directly there too.
Does it matter what edition of Red Book you use?
Oh, the red book? I think this is the third edition. You guys have the second?
That's what we have.
Yeah. So this is the red book. Some of you don't have it.
Where's the Zoom?
And I have mine here to borrow. So
Oh,
you can fight for it.
okay. So, let's see, there's a few Macs out there. So first I'm gonna go over how to take out your name from the track changes. So as you can see right now, I have a comment in there and it has my name in there. If you go to Word, this is on Word 2011, the latest for the Mac. So if you go to Word and you go to Preferences, then you go to User Information, and there's a list here for the tables and the fields. So if you take those out, if you simply just delete them and don't insert anything else, it'll automatically put your name back in there. So you can either just put in like a dash in all those fields, or another thing you can do is put in a number symbol in the first one, and then write out your student ID. And that way it'll show up in your comments. So, for example, let's type in something. So if I make a comment now, it's a number. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing. Have you guys, have most of you, or how many of you haven't used track changes before? Okay, so, we'll start from the beginning, I guess. Let's go back. So there's a little tab at the top that says Review on Macs, and on Word. You guys have Word out. There should be a tab also at the top. You guys all see it? Okay. So this is the tool that is used in the law review for all edits. And next year we'll cover more how we kind of sync it with OneDrive to kind of streamline it all. But for this one, all you need to know is make sure when you click Review and click On for track changes. So that's basically it. Now everything you do will be tracked. And if you want to make a comment, you highlight a word and just click this little thing right here. Should be something similar on the Windows. You guys all finding it? Okay. Okay, so even though even if you're successful in changing it to your student ID, at the very top of your exam, before you start, highlight a letter or word and make a new comment. So for example, if this was the beginning, when you start off, make a comment and type in your full student ID number. That way, in case something goes wrong and you don't see it in your track changes comment, you'll have that in there. So that's really important. And when you finish, make sure you check through and check that you don't have your name anywhere in the document, because as Jack said, that's just an automatic disqualification. Does that make sense? Do I need to go through it again?
Are you gonna go over on PC how to change?
Yeah, we'll go around.
Okay.
Okay, so let's switch over to a PC real fast, and then we'll go back and I'll show you how to make edits and decide on rules.
We made an executive decision. We will post it on Twin, the PowerPoint. I'm just gonna ask Ruben to remove a few of the slides, but most of it will be there.
Okay, so on the PC, before you decide to remove any kind of name information from your document, make sure you save a copy.